Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
The Bar Talk with Jay, and who do I have next to me? Craftmatic in the building.
Hey, what's happening, folks? How y'all doing tonight? Glad you could be with us. And of course, we got my boy Smooth Jay here on the wheel with me.
And it's been a long time coming. Macon, Georgia, Barbara has finally made it back up. Woo! I don't know if it was the snow that kept her, but she finally made it. Barbara in the building. Can you say something, Barbara?
Barbara's back.
How you
and
doing
we've
tonight?
been back for a very long time. And I'm so excited to be here with Bar Talk with Jeff, Kraft, and Mr. Jeremiah.
Oh, well, hold on. You get the government now. You know I got warrants. Y'all know I got warrants. Hey, that did Jay. Don't be saying the whole government.
Said your whole name.
The whole government.
The whole
You know you
government.
did something. You hear that whole name.
Yeah.
You don't know you done did something.
Yeah, so security double coming out.
Oh, Lord. I ain't worried.
Right.
Credit ain't good.
True.
Well, getting better.
Getting better.
All right. We're going to have to get a little fun.
Okay.
Now, one of the things we're going to have some fun with, my man, is I have a lot going on today. And I got to do a quick breakaway and tell you.
Okay.
A lot of things was thrown at me, Kraft. And I ain't get a chance to call it.
What you talking about, Jay?
Man, I just had situations at work. And it just seemed like things wasn't going my way.
Okay.
And a lot of times when that happened, you get mad and frustrated. And for once, I just got calm. And I started moving a little bit slower because it seemed like things just wasn't working in my favor.
Yes.
But I kept saying to myself, I gotta be positive at an ugly time that didn't seem so positive for me.
Right.
But I slowed down and things kept going, but things kept coming at me.
Yes.
And when I say things was coming, just natural things. I mean, nobody threw anything at me. Nobody tried to really physically hurt me.
Right.
You know, people entering my lane at the last second. There was a lot of cutoffs. And again, I drive, so I'm out there a lot.
Right.
I even witnessed a man come up to me and say, "Can I throw this away?" And I said, "Sure." As he went to throw the trash away, somebody jumped in his vehicle and stole it right there. in
Oh
front
my
of us.
goodness.
Now, of course, he like, "Did you see him?" And I didn't. I was busy working, so I didn't see it.
Okay.
But he's like, "My phone was in the vehicle," and he was panicking. So I calmly said, "I used my phone." And I called 911. We got the police on it. And the end of the good story is, and there's no goodness to a person stealing your vehicle, by his phone being in the vehicle, they was able to track
Right.
where the vehicle was. By the time I got back with the container, I seen it on the back of a tow truck. It didn't look wrecked, so he was able to get his possessions back.
Yeah.
The learning curve would be, even when it's a split second, turn your ignition off, take your keys with you. He just seen me getting a bigger container, so he thought he can just jump out his vehicle and just address me and drop it off over there, not saying anything he did anything majorly wrong, but it only takes a second for somebody to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, coming at you. Oh, it came at him as
Yeah,
well.
and let me address that because I think that is a kind of a profound point at this period in all of our lives. Sometimes, and I described it this way, sometimes that we are under spiritual attack. And as a result of it, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Confusion and no's and troubles and it's all kinds of nonsense just start to unfold throughout your day. That's when you realize you're under a spiritual attack. And what's important, most important, I think you may have said it, Jay, is that you can't allow your situation to determine who you are. You always got to be bigger than the situation ultimately, but you are not your situation. You are bigger than your situation. And no matter what's coming at you, you have to just know that you have the staying power, the patience, the fight to get through it. And no matter how long it lasts, it may last only for an hour or so, it could last for days and sometimes weeks. I think that those are times that say it's time to pray. It's time to go to the higher power because the higher power can see what's going on and put a stop to it right away. And I found myself today in the middle of my day turning completely away from work. I got on my computer and I started putting in prayer requests. And I put in like 6 or 7 different prayer requests from different churches all over the world. And I'm going to eradicate this enemy that is coming against me. And so we have to have the mindset that, yes, we are being attacked, but there is a solution, and it is the divine, and we got to lean on that, you know, all day, every day, Jay. So I think that's a good point, man. Those attacks are happening. You know, sometimes it's tearing down our business. Sometimes it's like restriction. It holds us up from doing what needs to get done. Sometimes it's lack of mindfulness, and so we forget the things that we're supposed to be doing, and we kind of lose consciousness throughout the day. You know, those are very spiritual things, but ultimately you just got to stay focused, stay positive, and don't let the situation consume you. Know that you have it under control, and so does the Lord.
And I tell you, that's why I said I didn't get a chance to call you.
Yeah, I wish you had it.
But sometimes I don't have to call because sometimes I can remember some of the words you already said.
Yeah, it'll kind of come to a head at a certain point, you know, and you'll say, you know what?
Calm it down.
Yeah, this ain't me. Something else is happening. This is not me.
Don't let it take my joy away.
Yeah.
Because again,
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
get
things
that.
didn't jump on me, but I was able to catch it. And we have to recognize what's going on around us as well.
Yes.
And I was aware that things just wasn't going right.
Mhm.
So I brought it in front of me that that's not going to be a problem. Let's look at some solutions.
Okay.
And I said, let's slow it down.
Right.
Maybe I'm moving too fast because some of the situations that's going on is not just because of my recklessness,
Right.
but I have to slow it down. Maybe I can catch somebody else.
There you go.
And a lot of things I was able to catch early on. Some things I got blocked in because some people just wasn't paying attention.
Right.
But if by me slowing down, I didn't get angry.
Mhm.
It didn't make me frustrated like it normally do.
Right.
And that's me learning me. And I'm hoping people can learn from this as well because again, it just happened to me. This is not script. This is something that truly happened, and I hope
But
that
listen-
y'all can learn from it.
Listen, what's important about the point, Jay, is that everybody experiences it. You can't really live life without experiencing, you know, what I call a spiritual attack, or what I call, it seems like something is holding you back. It seems like something's trying to get in your way. It seems like something is bothering you, maybe nudging at you in the wrong way. Those are real. Those are real things that are happening. You know, you just get those feelings like something is trying to oppress me. And during my spiritual work this week, I worked a lot on the oppressor, because we have to bind the oppressor, right?
Okay.
That's what we have to do in the spirit. And then we'll talk a lot more about that, man. That subject probably is a whole show. Yeah,
Oh.
that could simply be a whole show easily. But I'm glad you brought it up. Let's do a quick recap. Last
Oh
week-
yeah, you feel free because you ain't getting me. You don't
Listen,
sit in front of me.
listen.
Believe me? No, I'm playing.
Listen.
I said vote for Jeffrey. Okay, put it back on that. Jeffrey.
Because you believe in polygamy.
Oh, see, there you go. Now you trying to throw me under the bus.
I'm trying to ask what's
Okay,
going on, man.
a quick recap. If anybody did watch the show, y'all know he getting me right now because that's not what I said. I said I'm not really feeling like I'm fit for that. Because
Okay,
again,
okay.
you have to be mentally strong. One of the things you're talking about is bringing people into your home and making a stronger family.
Right,
Not just being a whore.
right.
Just thinking I can be with her and her. No, it's bigger than that, and it's also influencing and empowering.
Right.
Okay, you can't go in that with that kind of bullcrap mentality. You got to go in that with a strong-headed mentality, and that's why when it works well.
Yeah.
And then when you play with it, it just destroys a whole lot of different families. So again, I ain't saying nothing more that I'm not used to it. I can tell you, openly dating, I see how some things work, and I can see the confusion in some things. But I am not gonna sit here pragmatic and be ran over
No,
50 million times with your box. I'm just saying.
Sound like
Man,
you feel convicted.
I'm convicted. I ain't convicted
said
on.
nothing, right?
Yes, you did.
Listen,
You won't.
Polygamy is happening all over the world,
Yeah.
in a lot of cultures. It's normal. It's not normal in quote unquote the United States. There are states that do legalize it. We know that the Lord did not ordain it. He said it's not what He wants for us. That's why He wants His wife, you to leave and to cleave unto your wife. And so He meant for there only to be one man and one woman in a long-term relationship, hopefully under matrimony and under His guidance. So, I think we did it justice, because ultimately what we came to was that all of those people, whether you were in a multi-marriage or some diverse relationship, or whether you're just dating, you have to meet people, and you have to assess the people that you're meeting, and you have
Right.
to determine if they're going to be long-term participants in your life. one way or another. I don't even think we covered it, but they can be all the way from associates to here's my significant other, or my lifelong best friend. And there's a lot of give and take in building a relationship. That's what makes them so hard. And that's why most marriages don't work, because I think both people, to some degree, forget that there is a give and take. But polygamy is for some and it's not for others.
And,
so,
and Jeffrey
let's
said he
move on
would
with that
legalize it and make it where in the United States. Yeah, I said vote for Jeffrey for president, but
Right.
to the second.
Right.
That ain't it.
one. We know why you want Jeffrey. Right?
Whatever.
But listen, I made the statement. First and foremost, you probably will never find a man in the world who would claim that he would not want more than one woman, right? Maybe it's just in our genes, kind of in our makeup. We know it's not the thing to do, it's not right, and really the best relationship ever that you can have, I think, is a one-on-one, long-term marital relationship.
With the right one, yes.
Yeah, with the right one. And sometimes, even when you don't have the right one, it's way better than not having anybody.
Woo! What
right?
are you telling?
But listen, that's the struggle that people are having in long-term relationships, right? They I love this person, I probably wish I hadn't married him, but I sure don't want to be out there in the streets having to search for somebody else, Sometimes the latter is not so lesser. But let's move on, shall we?
Oh, yeah, because we covered this last week.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we are really just about time for our first break. I want to just to dive into the spiritual topic for the week, okay? And I think Barbara laid this out. She really kind of laid a platform for me to just dialogue about something that I think everyone is dealing with. Not everyone is dealing with. Actually, only a few people are dealing with. It's called the weight of purpose. The weight of purpose. What is the cost? What is the responsibilities for purpose? And for people who are living in their purpose, they already understand what happens when you give your life to a particular purpose. That can be a heavy notion. That can be a lot of weight. Because most of the time, if you're living truly in your purpose, most of the people around you are not going to be in your purpose. And so you're going to have to ward off lots of people who you may like, who you may think you have long-term potential with in some form or another. You may have to push them away because they are not a part of your purpose, and they'll keep you from achieving your purpose. If you don't discard them, if you don't get rid of, quote unquote, the time wasters, and I'm not saying people are time wasters, but there are certain people who won't do anything but waste your time. And they may be good people, and you can have a lot of fun with them, and a lot of jokes, and play a lot of games, et cetera, but they're not going to help you achieve your lifelong dream and purpose. When the purpose, because the purpose, the weight of purpose is so heavy that you really have the responsibility of owning your own inspiration and your own growth, right? You can't depend on the people around you because they can't see what you see.
Correct.
So now you got to just dive in and say, you know what, I need to go back to school, I need to take a technical class, I need to call somebody for help, I need to read this book. You got to be laser focused and fired up for your purpose because nobody else is going to believe in it. A lot of times you got to keep your purpose to yourself. And there are people around you, if they can't see it and feel it for you, then they're probably going to kind of tear it down in their mind. And really, the mental stuff is the spiritual stuff and the stuff that we fight with all day long. So when you tell somebody your purpose who don't believe in it, they're going to doubt it.
Right.
And they're going to start to doubt you as a result of it. You may miss opportunities to do one thing or another because you're focused on your purpose. There are plenty of parents, young parents, old parents, who are making extreme sacrifices for their children. Extreme sacrifices, because they are carrying the weight of purpose. To be a parent, you have to carry the weight of purpose, right? That's the only way. You can't have what you want because you know your child wants something, or your child needs something, or your child needs to plan for the future, or you need to save for a rainy day for the children, not really ever worried about yourself. And that's the other thing about purpose, is that it's selfless. It's not about concerning about self, it's about the world at hand, it's about the population you want to serve, it's about the people you want to help, it's about the goal you want to achieve, and it's never about yourself. And ultimately that's about service and servant leadership. So I won't belabor the point, but the weight of purpose is something we all need to really reflect on, because it's going to cost you, to some degree, some happiness in order to achieve a great goal. and a great goal for yourself, for your family, for your community, and for mankind overall. So I'll leave it at that. Any parting on that, Jay?
Man, I mean, you nailed that one. I don't know where that just came from.
I don't either, bro. What did I just say?
The Lord just said it. I would tell you all day long, Craft, yes. Purpose will remind me back to drive. And
yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
And again, you have to be laser focused and you have to get in tune with it. And I love it when you say you need to go outside sources.
Yeah.
You can't just be content on what you know.
Absolutely.
It's bringing people together, and sometimes it's a lot of people you don't know, but you have to learn to entrust.
Yeah.
And that knowledge comes to you a lot quicker when you start entrusting the right people and formulating a good team.
There you go.
And that goes back to evaluation. So
yeah, it is. It's what's coming to me is it is wise to know that you don't know.
Ooh,
right?
now that's a good cliche.
Because when you know that you don't know, then you seek, and he who seeks shall find. So it's it's God's law. It's His process. It's His way to achieve life. So listen, this is Bar Talk with Jay. It is time for us to take our first break. I think an outstanding first segment, and we got a great show lined up for you tonight.
Man, you just happy the TK coming up next.
I am indeed. Tonight we're talking about out with the old, in with the new. What relationships need more nurturing in 2018? Is it about finance? Is it about romance? What needs improvement? And this is about building a vision for 2018. So you folks stay tuned with us. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk.
So some of the ones that's not into the newer music, 2018, we got Hype Magazine with a lot more new artists coming out. And again, we'll be featuring them as they come through the studio. And again, we want y'all to have a warm, open heart to music that you might not be used to.
Yeah, listen, my vision for this music is I'm an R&B fan, right? But we don't seem to have a whole lot of platforms, even on the radio, for brand new R&B. Right. So R&B has kind of been losing its weight, and I like to use this show as a platform to bring back new R&B. And that R&B is still hot, it's still fresh, it's still alive. It just don't get as much airplay nowadays. And I think it deserves it because they're talking a lot about love, and it's talking about all the things that people talk about in music, but it's good soulful music. And in most cases, it's way cleaner than most of the rap. I love rap. I'm a rap fan. I'm into all the rap, but I can't expose rap because it's a lot of bad words, a lot of bad language. So that's the only reason you guys don't get played, for y'all who are putting out hot music. You'll get more airplay if you make clean music. So we'll let that be said. What we got going on, Jay?
But that's a good thing right there. You already know what we got going on. TK on the line. TK, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, listen to it with her little soft voice. You already know how we doing, girl.
Yeah, It sounds like you got on your bedroom shoes tonight.
It sounds like you want to know what she got on to sound like to me. Why don't you just go ahead and text which one?
Jay. How you doing? How you doing, Miss TK?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. So what you got for us tonight? Let's jump right in.
Yeah, jump right in.
Okay, let's jump right in. I am not a fan coming of the new year, the New Year's resolution. I think there are overzealous expectations. I think there are a bunch of lies that people make up to make themselves feel better about the stuff they didn't get to accomplish during the year, so they want to reset.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong for not encouraging or supporting New Year's resolutions? Because I just think there are a bunch of lies. I know I need to lose weight. I had 365 days to do it. I ain't did it in 2017. I probably might lose 5 or 6, but I ain't going to lose the 30 I want to lose in 2018. If I don't get motivated, it's not about being a new year, it's about having an opportunity. But if I take the same opportunities that I took in 2017, 2018, I'm still not going to accomplish my goals. So I'm just not a fan of the New Year's resolution. I hate them, and I don't want to hear nobody
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna jump in real quick.
Go ahead, Jay.
Craftmatic said when he seen you, it didn't look bad to him. Why you gotta lose with it? I thought that in every quick.
If I had a lady in my life, you would doing it for me, bruh.
Dagger all up.
Unfortunately, I read the wise man's life.
If she didn't know I stirred the pot, then I don't even know why she listened to the show.
So listen, Ms. TK, I think that what has happened is that you have worn out the idea of New Year's resolution. Okay, so because it's an old idea for you, and you have on many occasions probably taken it very serious and got really focused in the end of the year and start writing your goals and start planning, and this is what you're going to do. And what you were doing was you were pumping yourself up, right? And so you pump yourself up, and then, you know, by February or March, you feel like all of that was for nothing. And, you know, sometimes we gonna pump ourselves up, and we can't put the rubber on the ground, you know what I'm saying? We can't make the rubber hit the road and take off. But we need that period of thinking about it, getting excited about it. I think making the New Year's resolution is, you know, it's a healthy idea, but it sounds like it has gotten mundane to you. I would suggest that maybe you try something different. Create a new type of resolution, you know, but don't share it with nobody. That way you don't have to be held accountable for it, right? Just say, hey, you know what, this is what
I don't want to hear nobody else's secrets, because they be lying.
Yeah, sometimes people drink.
They know they ain't gonna stop drinking.
They drink.
They're just like Jerry telling me he's gonna stop drinking. I know he gonna stop
Don't you lie on me.
But listen, it does mean a lot for them to at least think about it, to at least desire it for a moment, you know, or for a couple of weeks that they want to stop drinking. What?
This ain't no fast.
If that's what they, you know, if that's what they want to do,
I guess.
those are difficult things to overcome. You know,
What's that?
It takes a long time, a lot of times, for people to overcome
What,
those
alcohol?
issues. Alcohol, losing weight. I mean, you know, going back to school, making more
Losing weight
money.
ain't no problem. Add some stress in your life. Stress and crack.
Stress
Two days of my kid.
stress make a lot of people eat, and that's why obesity is such a problem.
I don't want any crack, but I do want to lose some weight.
Well, I ain't recommending it. I'm
just
just saying these no jokes. But again, I would say, and get back to you, Latiki, because again, I like to have fun with you, girl. It might, to me, New Year's is hyped up. So when you hear New Year's resolution and then people fail at them, they hype it up and then you see it, they go right back to their regular ways, is because that timeline is not that significant to them. So what's significant would be not looking at a New Year's resolution, it's just your goal setting. You got to keep your goal setting, not just a New Year's resolution, because a lot of times they set them at the beginning of the year, they drop off, and next thing you know, it's another year. So it's a depressing. After a while, it becomes more depressing. It should never be depressing because you shouldn't have to wait that long to realize you got to get back on the mark.
Right.
You know, time is going by us. And to me, a new year just let me know how much time went by. But the bottom line, if I'm doing what I need to be doing, it's just going by. Because I already got a goal set before the new year anyway. So my next quarter, I got a new set. And then in the next quarter, I got another set. So I have sets of plans, of procedures that I have to put in place for my goals to be achieved.
If we could overcome the one or two things that keeps us from achieving our goal, then most of our goals will probably be achieved. And what are those things? Laziness and forgetfulness. Right? We get to a point where we just, you know, we kind of start resting on our laurels, and rather than go to work out that third or fourth day that week, we lounge on our laurels. Oh, we worked hard this week.
So I don't got to.
Yeah, so I don't got to go out. I don't go out to
That's
do
my
it this
pass.
weekend. Right, you know, I worked out hard this week, so I can eat that extra slice of cake this weekend. I can, you know, I can drink that extra beer this weekend and don't have to worry. Those are culprits, and we gotta focus on getting rid of the culprits. Whether it be to a New Year's resolution, whether it be the goal setting, the culprit is laziness and forgetfulness. And when I say forgetfulness, that most people by February or March will even forget they set a goal for the new year. Right? It's only 30, 45 days into the year, and they done forgot that they even thought about achieving that goal this year.
If they look and
So-
see that weight Not drop off. They wanted to be in there.
But you see, it was comfortable, cozy from going into October
yeah.
and November, right? It ain't worrying them come February or March. It ain't no problem. Like just life as usual, right? Now here's one recommendation. I'll just call this the clean sheet of paper of tonight's show. It's important that we write our goals.
Right.
I keep saying that, and I'm going to keep saying it because there's something very magical about writing your goals. Write your top 10 goals for the year, and it's important that you keep it in your pocket so that you can pull it out anytime. You start getting frustrated, things start happening, nonsense start going on, pull the goals out of your pocket and read them, right?
Keep focused.
Keep you focused, right? That is what's important. That's why we forget our goals, because we're not close enough to them. And so one of my best friends in South Florida, he says, this is the greatest exercise you can do, is to take your top 10 goals, and I want you to just simply write them. You don't have to pay attention, just simply write them every single day. So the first thing you get up, just rewrite them. The next page, turn the page, write the goals, the next day, write the goals. And it's going to be difficult to get to 30 days, but by the time you get to the 15th, 20th day, you're going to see something extreme starts to happen in your spirit. It's almost like there's going to be a full battery on charge, on fire for the thing that you desire to have in your goal. Something is going to transition in your spirit, and I can't explain it to you. You have to try it for yourself. And I won't belabor the point, but writing your goals this year is one way to stay close to it. What you got? Anything else? How do you feel about the subject, Ms. TK? I just went in. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm so passionate. I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, passionate about it. Yeah, passion. A whole lot of passion.
I mean, I get the right
Passion
there.
comes.
I just feel like if it's something you shouldn't have to wait till the first of the year. No specific day to work on bettering yourself. It shouldn't wait till January, or it could be today. I don't have to wait until January 1 to decide I want to lose weight, or I want to fix my credit, or I want whatever the goal is. I shouldn't have to wait until a specific day to make a determination. Okay, this is the day I want to make myself better, whatever the situation is. It's going to improve me for me.
Right.
That's why I don't like the resolution, because it gives people an excuse to say, well, I got next year. It gives you an excuse to put it off.
Yes, and I do agree with that, but it's kind of like renewing your insurance policy. If you don't do it, you may
won't
not.
be there.
You may not have planted enough good seeds to make the year a good year. And so I hear what you're saying. It's definitely a worn out idea, but we got to find a way to charge our battery, and our goals and envisioning and really paying attention to what I want and what I want for tomorrow. Those are good seeds to plant in your own mind, and they might even be good seeds to plant with the Lord Himself. Right?
Oh, you already know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because I ain't hear TK say amen.
Amen. We're about to pass the plate. Y'all say amen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Any parting words for us tonight, Ms. TK?
None. Just everybody be safe, enjoy the family, have a good, safe time. It's going to be freezing cold. And to all y'all police officers who tried to give me a ticket today because I fed some homeless people out of my own pocket, y'all need to cut that crap out.
Really?
Right.
That was a mouthful real quick.
Yeah.
Boy, that was good though. I
They
like
tried to give me a ticket. They tried to give me a ticket because I took some homeless people some food. I didn't even cook it. I purchased it and just gave it to them, and they were still trying to give me a ticket at the city of it now.
What kind of ticket is that?
Oh, yeah, that's in New Orleans.
It's a $300 fine. It's an ordinance that's been on the books. They're just starting to enforce it because they're saying that the people are getting sick or going to the hospital or whatever the case may be, but they eat out of the trash can, they eat sour food all year long. Why is this food I bought from Chick-fil-A that's gonna make them sick?
It enables. Is that basically what they're saying?
Well, they're trying to say a lot of times when people go down to do positive things with them, they're leaving the debris in the trash right there, and there are a lot of places that got cleaned up. So they're saying with this new ordinance, they're making it where you have to go ahead and get a permit to do this, and that way that permit helps pay for the cleanup. And that's all the mayor. The mayor came back and said
I'm
this.
not paying $500 fee on nobody can't feed themselves. Are they crazy?
Yeah. But again, this is something new came out with the mayor's pass. A lot of people didn't know about it, so they was going down there Thanksgiving. We was down there and we experienced some of this. And again, not to throw anybody under the bus, the mayor came out and said it didn't come out and nobody brought it to everybody's attention right away. But yes, he was saying that certain areas, they're trying to limit who goes down there and do anything because they just leave a big mess.
Okay.
And it says the money for the permits help for the cleanup.
That makes
Now
sense.
that's what he came out and said.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All
All
right.
of his words. Go back and listen to the mayor. Mayor Racine, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
He needs to be having on his church.
Right. Listen, a fantastic topic. New Year's resolution. Not a better time than a few days before New Year's 2018. So we thank you for bringing that, Ms. TK, and we'll look to speak with you in 2018.
Personally.
We'll get you guys next year.
Yeah,
All right.
Personally.
All right. And Happy New Year to you and your family, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
2018, we'd like to see you in the studio a little bit more. Mm-hmm.
So, folks, this is Bar Talk with Jay, and we just finished up with Ms. TK. We got the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey
We ain't finished with it.
coming in just one
Round
moment.
table up in
So
here.
if you all will just bear with us, we got another break, and y'all stay tuned for more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right, we back with Bar Talk with Jay. Woo
Yes,
wee
we are.
with that hot segment with TK.
Yes.
Woo wee! And guess what? Now we got our best bud that let you know how to do it. Jeffrey on the line. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, what's going on with you, sir?
Man, Jeffrey, I had one of them crazy days, almost like you,
Right.
but it ain't gonna be about me right now. We want to know how you doing, Jeffrey, because you know when you have a bad day, everybody feels it. Yes. Did you have a bad day, Jeffrey?
Man, Brother Crab, what's going on with you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Today was one of those half days where it got to the half part.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody and their mama came to me to try to get me to do some more work before
Right.
my half day started.
Right.
So I had to run up out the office today
Right.
because they kept trying to put me to work on my own time. But in spite of that, I made it out, and you know what time.
Yes, sir.
It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view.
Okay.
Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman. And I got one reason for the habitually single man as to why they might be single, but here is my disclaimer. Now, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. If it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe.
Okay.
But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and learn, walk around in them because you're going to learn something tonight.
All right.
Now, ladies, you are first. All right. Ladies, you might be single because you give up the loyalty in the relationship to single people. I want you to understand me. Ladies, you might be single because you give up the loyalty in the relationship to single people. Here's what I mean.
Mm.
Y'all just date. Y'all just went on 3 or 4 dates,
Right.
and you have already cut off everybody in your roster.
Mm.
Matter of fact, what you've already done is you've already given this man relationship treatment by the way that you regard him, by the things that you stop doing
Yeah.
based on the 3rd date.
Mm.
So when that 4th date comes around and this brother gets ghost on you,
Mm-hmm.
well, your feelings get hurt because you were caught up in him all quick, fast, in a hurry. You gave him access to everything all quick, fast, in a hurry while he was still operating as a single individual.
Yes. Yes.
Ladies, I want you to understand me, ladies. I need you to feel me now. You need to give that man honesty, and that man needs to give you honesty in the beginning while you are dating. If you're dating some other people, let him know. If he asks, which is stupid in my opinion,
Right.
but if he asks, let him know, yes, I'm dating other people right now. We single. This is not a commitment. We auditioning other people to see if we're compatible to go forward.
Okay.
But ladies, when you give that single man that loyalty that should be saved for the relationship, he ain't gonna do nothing to take advantage of it. And after he's gotten what he's wanted, what he's gonna do is bounce, and he's gonna leave your ass.
Ouch! Jeffrey had a hard day. Ouch!
Man, I wasn't quite sure where you was going from the front door, but
He hit you in the back though.
I got you now. I got you now, bro. And you know, the one thing that comes to mind, with all due respect, somehow the change in attitude comes after the cookies get had. You know, I mean, it seemed like once the cookie session go down, things change.
Crab, you
right?
really throwing this out there right about
Well,
now,
I
ain't
mean,
you?
listen, you know, as he was talking through it, I'm wondering, I say, okay, well, why do women do that? Well, they do that because when you start becoming close to somebody and kissing them and hugging them, holding hands and talking to them every day, you start to think that there you have maybe potentially more than you really have. You know what I mean? That's what happened. And you can see I'm kind of feeling a little convicted on this side because I do the same thing. You know, I hope that the person that I meet is divinely ordained, and I don't have to, I don't have to worry about all the rest of them, and I start pushing people away. And 2 months later, I'm like, where y'all at? I need y'all to come back.
Pause alert, pause alert. It wasn't a good one, it wasn't a good one.
So, another good one. Listen, I'm not even one of the women, but I feel convicted,
He walking around with one of the shoes. Shoe don't fit.
The Timberland.
Okay.
Yeah. Do your thing, Jeffrey. Go ahead, man.
All right, well, fellas, don't think I'm letting you off the hook, brothers.
Uh-oh.
You are next. Brothers, you might be single because you still lying for the cookie. I want you to understand me, brother. You still lying for the cookie. I'm going to put it to you like this. Now, basically, you'll tell a woman that you like them. You're interested in the things that they're interested in. You like their mama. You accept all their children. You actually enjoy going places they like to go to.
Okay.
You like her hair. You like her skin complexion. You like the clothes she wears. You tell her all these things for the cookie when you don't like none of them. You don't like none of them.
Okay.
So what ends up happening is, when that woman gets close to you and she gives you that cookie, and the cookie is the bomb, when you start to realize that you really don't like all these things that she gives, that woman senses that you were just playing that game on her.
Yeah.
And then what happens is she takes her cookies and she puts them in that Ziploc bag and takes them away from you. She puts them in the Ziploc to make sure they stay fresh. You put cookies in the Ziploc.
We like that
fresh
Ziploc.
and fresh. You guys feel what I'm saying there.
Oh, yeah.
But the bottom line of
Absolutely.
it, fellas, is nowadays, fellas, you don't even have to lie to get the cookies. Because quite frankly, the women want the sausage more than we want the cookie.
Okay, what we cooking with?
Honest
Right.
with what you want from this relationship. I'll tell you, 5 times out of 10, that woman will meet you because she just wants the sausage too.
Right.
Now here's the problem though, fellas. Just be honest. If you can't be honest with a woman, quite frankly, you deserve to be single.
Yeah.
Because if you go lie, once she discovers that you've been lying, well, she gonna leave your ass single.
Right.
So just tell her the truth up front and avoid all types of problems in the end, because once she gets a hold to that sausage, you might have unlimited access to the cookies.
Yeah.
Now just to recognize that formula might just leave you cookieless
And single. And that's a horrible place to be in.
Very, very horrible.
Cookieless and single. Yeah.
Very, very.
Listen, I don't believe in lying at all. I just, you running from something if you're telling lies.
Okay.
You running from something. I don't know what else, how to say it. What you know about Jay?
I used to lie.
Okay.
Jay gonna say, I'm gonna put it out there, I used to lie for cookies. Okay. I'm sorry. I lie for, I gotta walk around these Timbs right now. Listen,
Okay.
I sat when I was in high school and a girl said that so-and-so was bragging about how his thing was big and it wasn't. And the only thing hit my ear is he got it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
I don't know what thing. I cared about that. I cared about the fact that she gave it to him because of what he was talking.
Right.
I said, he talked about it and he got it.
Right.
And I sat there and I talked to you and give me nothing.
Right.
So I started talking about mine. I ain't really lie on it, but I talked on mine. I talked about it so much. About talking way bigger than what it was. Hey, but I can tell you one
I'm
thing.
scared to let you continue.
Nah, you might want to be.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, please.
I learned
We understand the point.
that you do these things and then you get somebody and I'll start caring about them, right? And then somebody asked me why I'm with this person that I'm starting to care about, and again because she gave me some cookies. So now the cookies was good, and I'm starting to get into the cookies. The cookies good, and then somebody else offered me some more cookies because they heard because I talk so much.
Oh,
So when the next one asked me, "Was you dating so and so?" I lied and said no because I wanted some more cookies. So
That's it.
all this bad behavior
Right.
did not end very well for me because again they found out, they talked about me. I got cookies because again at one time just talking on the friend level wasn't getting it. But what I can tell you is you have to mature and grow. This is back in high school
Yeah.
when you just trying to get established.
Yeah.
So a grown man doing it now, and I'm telling you I did this early on. That's why I don't care to play them games because that game been played. And my whole thing is what Jeffrey saying. You can do more honesty, and people like to make a decision. And when you make decisions off somebody giving you good factual information, you feel good about that person.
Yeah.
And then you can continue down that path, or if you don't, at least you know that person is genuinely honest.
Yeah.
So he might be a friend, but he's a friend that's honest compared to just a liar that I can never trust. And I believe I broke a lot of people because I lied so much to get my selfish ways back when I was younger, and I will say more younger than older, but I will say I did it because I don't want to feel like I was holier than thou when I know for a fact I went down the wrong path and played with it and did some things, and again, it did not get me my end result.
Yeah, this lying's never gonna get you anywhere. Like Jeffrey said, just be honest. The woman, the man, we all want the same things. Be loved, heard, understood, and love whatever that looks like. And so lying is just never gonna get you anywhere. And I don't agree with it, believe in it. And,
You don't need to.
Let's rebuke anybody who does lie.
Yeah, y'all can
because-
rebuke me back then. I ain't lying.
So,
I wouldn't.
Go
do it for
ahead,
nothing.
do your thing, Big Jeffrey.
Side
It's
joke.
on you,
Man,
baby.
listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Today there was a post on Facebook. I want everybody to understand me real quick. The first two, for the men and women, I like to have a little fun with that, but this was something that was serious. This brother said that we all should judge each other. Because if somebody does something, we should judge them. And I told him basically that the difference between judging somebody and counseling someone is all about wisdom. See, you can try to judge me all you want to. You'll get one or two things ignored, or I'm going to chew you up like a dirty rug. Because you're not going to come at me when you ain't got no room to talk.
Right.
So what I need for black men and black women to understand is we can continue to try to judge each other. And what will most likely be met with is scorn or prideful arrogance. But it won't be any change. When we start to speak to each other out of love, out of admiration and with wisdom, then that's what affects change. So I'd like to have fun tonight, but I just want to keep it kind of light. We're being completely serious. We have to remember that when we're talking to each other about being better, it has to come from a place of love.
Yes.
Because if it doesn't come from a place of love, it's not going to be met, and it's not going to be taken in, and it's not going to encourage that person to be better.
Right.
At a certain point, and this is just bringing it all together, if you have children, at a certain point, you got to stop fussing at your kids, and you got to start guiding them,
Yes.
because they're too old to be fussed at. If we really think about it, when people their age, they did some dumb stuff too. We just have to remember that they're still growing, they're still learning, and we have to guide them now.
Right.
In speaking to each other, we got to guide each other back towards righteousness, not judge each other, not condemn each other. And when we start doing those things, there's going to be some powerful changes going on in our community between the men and the women who so desperately need each other.
Absolutely.
And that's all I got.
Absolutely.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah.
Let's drop the mic. You got the mic on that one.
Yeah.
I give it to you again, Jeff.
Yeah,
Walk on it.
And it's just, that is so important, because we're always surrounded by people, but people who come at us with attitude, people who come at us with ridicule, we don't listen to that. We shut down immediately as they start to come at us. But people who say, listen, I just want to see if maybe this might make sense. If you did it this way, you might get a better outcome. It might feel better, it might be a little easier. People love to be helped and love counsel. In fact, I've always said that one of the greatest misunderstood qualities of success is leadership.
Yeah.
Leaders inspire, everybody else tear down, right? So if you're not coming from a leadership mentality, if you're not coming from love, that I want to help you and support you and make you better, then whatever you're saying to the person, whoever you're trying to help or develop, all they're going to do is shut down and never hear the message. So point well taken, and that's the kind of stuff that I think we need an encyclopedia of, or a dictionary. No, there is no written dictionary for life. There's no instruction for life, but that's what I think we need to be putting together, and things like this, because it gives you perspective. If you teach somebody these techniques, and this is a technique in order to influence. This is an influence technique. You don't influence people by downing them. You influence them by picking them up. And when you understand that, you have better relationships and you have greater opportunity to succeed, because you'll know how to influence the people who could potentially put you in great places. And that's what it is all about. Who you know, not necessarily what you know. So well taken, Jeffrey. Well taken. Any closing comments for us on tonight, sir?
Oh man, I want everybody to understand something. Don't wait to 2018 to start your greatness. You can start your greatness right now.
Right now, yes.
It doesn't have to be the beginning of the new year. It doesn't have to be the turn of the century. It don't have to be a new month. It don't have to be Monday.
Right.
It could be Thursday,
Right.
the 28th of December, 2017. When you make up your mind that I am no longer going to be average. I'm no longer going to be run around by my days. I'm going to control my days.
Yes.
I'm going to control my destiny. I'm not going to live check to check no more. I want to figure out a way to increase my marketability so I can increase my wealth, or I'm going to stop spending so much money on stuff that I don't need to get by, and I'm going to create wealth by my savings.
Right.
Bottom line is, I just need everybody to understand there is so much greatness inside of us that we are purposely distracted from our greatness.
Right.
They put things in front of us that have us spin and be focused on stuff that keeps us away from the greatness inside of us. Last thing I got for you is this. I believe in God, but I watched something from Reverend Ike the other day.
Right.
And Reverend Ike said this. I'm not disparaging anybody else's belief. This is what Reverend Ike said. Reverend Ike said there is no devil and there is no God outside of you.
Right.
There is a God in you. You were created in God's image.
Yes.
And when you don't follow that image, you follow the image of the devil inside of you.
Yes.
So if Reverend Ike can give us that message from the late 70s, early 80s, and it still remains true today, don't wait for 2018 to start your greatness. Focus on that brilliance in you and make it manifest today, December 28th, 2017.
Man, yeah, that's right on.
I like that.
Right on. Listen, Jeffrey, I don't know if you know this or not, but the topic of tonight's show is out with the old, in with the new. What relationships need more nurturing in 2018? Finance, romance, etc. And I think you just dialed right in to the subject for tonight. It's not about necessarily getting pumped up. It's about making a stance for what you want, and getting clear and being decisive about it. And we're going to spend a lot of time on that tonight. In fact, that is the subject for tonight. So thank you so much, Jeffrey, for being with us and for always bringing that heat. This is the kind of messages, man, the world needs to hear. And as long as you and I keep sharing it, we think it's going to be heard in a big way, man. So hang in there with us, bro, and have a wonderful new year. Happy New Year to you and your family. Any parting things, Jay?
I toasted what you just said. Yes.
Yes.
You're on the mark, baby.
You're on the mark. You're on the mark. Thank you, Jeffrey, for being with us, man. We appreciate it.
All right, brothers. Happy New Year, man. Y'all take it easy.
Okay, bro. Okay. All right, folks, and we are on fire again.
You gotta go and bring it
Just
down.
closed the first half of the show, and so much information, in the show. You just, you need a pencil and pad just to keep up with it.
Man, we gotta go back and rethink some things.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to tonight's first half of the segment. But we got a second half lined up for you. Jay and I will go in on tonight's topic. This is a time for renewing. This is a time for understanding what does your best really look like. Not just for 2018, but for your life. What does your best work, your best intention, your best effort, what does it produce? And so you guys stay with us. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Talk with Jay. Man, Jeffrey just slammed that session.
He did, man.
To open up a new
He
session.
did. And there's so many things to talk about when you think about preparing for an entire year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important, almost like a checklist, to think about. Like just to put a checklist of what do I need to really pay attention to in 2018. And that is another. In fact, let's go ahead and deem it in the program tonight. This is called Clean Sheet of Paper. I've been doing this exercise for 20 years, and I can tell you it works. You take out a clean sheet of paper, and you start writing what you want to do, what you want to achieve, what you want to have, who you want to be, maybe even who you want to know in 2018. And it does nothing more. It's almost like a brain dump, right? If you trust your mind, and only your mind, you're going to forget half the things that you want. Because your mind is going to get clouded by the stress of the day, right? What the haters might be saying. How tough that project's going to be next week. How you going to pay that bill next month. If you don't keep yourself focused on what you desire, then life will keep you focused on what it desires, right? And it's better for you to live in your own box than for you to live in the world's box. So, what you want to achieve in 2018 has to become, it has to become centered in your mind. If it's not centered in your mind, one philosopher said that if you never identify what you want, it is impossible for you to have it. Right? And that's why goal setting is so important. We take that for granted, but it's a very necessary exercise. And why don't people set goals? What is the problem with that?
I think a lot of times when they set them, it's just the fact that sometimes they don't believe in them.
Yeah.
They set them too high, and they don't want to depress themselves even more. And I like to say, at the end of the year, the saddest thing, and I like to say, with your clean sheet of paper, you might be more excited if you can look at some of the things you was able to accomplish. If you had goals in front of you and you was able to see all the things that you did throughout the year of 2017, 2018 will be so much brighter because of the fact you can see your drive. A lot of time we lose our drive because we get in the hustle and the bustle. Sometimes I get into the show and I lose drive because I get the day-to-day stresses, I get everything else, but you have to focus back in. And without a good line of focus, which I like to say that clean sheet of paper of writing down goals and expectations, it drives you back to focus back in on what you tend to forget. And what you say? Forgetting. Well, you don't want to. Your mind takes you other places because it's like, I have all this data and you need to be thinking about this, that, and the other. But if it ain't written, it's gonna take you other places because it's more things that need to be done.
Right.
All right. You're not gonna write out everything that you need to do ever.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Your day to day is complex,
Yes.
and when it's simple, it need to get complex
Mhm.
because you need to think greater. Okay.
Okay.
Live up to your full potential. Quit living in your half.
Right.
Half is comfortable. If you comfortable with everything around you, you need to be sometimes uncomfortable to get the best out of you. Because just being comfortable, you will never be the best you.
Okay.
So I always want somebody to achieve the best them. And a lot of times, you're not going to achieve it if you don't feel a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress.
Okay.
Because it brings out sometimes the best of you. I just want to make sure you balance it because stress can kill.
Yes, it can.
So if you can balance
Kills
it,
dreams.
it can uplift dreams as well.
Yes.
Because it's not going to just happen just because you want it. I thought it's going to happen. Okay, you're genie in the bottle. I'm just giving you reality. Reality is you think it, you have to put some plans down, and again, you write it down, and you got to focus on it, and you have to work for it. That's your drive. Your work, your drive, it becomes your passion. Oh my goodness. It becomes that weight of passion. It becomes that purpose. And now you have a meaningful life. One of the things I can tell anybody, buying me a Christmas gift would be the hardest thing in the world. But I noticed this year a lot of things I got was my vision of my show.
Okay.
I'm proud
Okay.
to be able to put a vision of what I want and somebody able to just send me things that they see me doing.
Right.
Okay? Because it's a part of me.
Yes.
And I feel like clothes and a lot of jewelry and a lot of these things, I bought that already. All right? That flash, that's old. This is inspiring. This is what I want you to buy into. Not the flash. Anybody can do that. That's stuff. Okay?
Okay.
I want to invest in things that's going to give you long-term rewards.
Right.
All right? It's like return on investment, mental.
Right.
And a lot of times people just want the flash. Well, the flash is going to be stuff if it's not going to bring you any real value. And to me, good words, good conversations, sitting down and strengthening your family will give you a long-term value that you will be rewarded way beyond.
Absolutely.
And that's what I love. And that's what I love about the show. That's what I love about my team, my cast, because it wasn't easily picked. I promise you it wasn't. Because y'all came in different facets, but you have to be understanding. And in any year, and I don't like to look at a year, but in any goal setting, be understanding. Everybody's not going to meet you on what your vision can be, and be understanding that it don't have to change theirs. Y'all can work together and achieve a goal together. You don't always just have to totally forget yours. I like to say a collaboration.
Okay.
Because I don't want you, because when I met you, Kraft, you were spiritual, you was in one place, I was in another. But I've never asked you to give up anything because I always believe in we can get along to get along when you respect each other.
Right.
And always communicate and keep respect in front.
Yeah.
And we don't have to fight. We don't always agree. Don't get me wrong, we don't fight,
Yeah.
but we don't always agree. But I love our discussion. I don't want everybody to agree with me. I don't feel like I'm always right.
Right.
But when you give me another point of view, I get quiet. And if you can quiet me, oh, let me tell you, you did some things. Like, I got some words for you.
Right.
But my words will be lowered for my ears to be upraised because I do not know it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I asked the question to Jay, and I appreciate that, John, that dialogue, because I got a lot out of it, Jay. And I just want to kind of recap what Jay said. I asked the question, why don't people set goals? And this is the reason, in my mind, why people don't achieve their goals or stick to their New Year's resolutions throughout the year.
Mhm.
The reason why is because they're not on fire for anything, right? I mean, that's what life is about,
That's
right?
a little cold. Don't
Listen,
fire.
that's what having a purpose and having a vision and doing, people who are in the photography industry, man, they got cameras and they're taking pictures all the time and developing them, they're talking about them, they're showing them, they trying to get them in publications. They got a fire, they got a burning desire to be the best photographer or to bring art to to humanity in a certain way. You have to figure out what that fire is for you. If you're trying to set a goal on something that you have no passion about, then the goal's never going to come to life, right?
I agree.
So I think that's a great reason why people don't even set goals. And here's the second one you said. They don't have the belief system. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in the goal. So I start writing a goal, I don't believe in it, it just becomes words on paper,
Correct.
right? So to some degree, you got to dig a little deeper in yourself, right? You got to pull your greatest possibility out of you by identifying something that you think you can do, that you can believe in, that you really, 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 really want. So many people live life at the level of survival. They don't get to the point of self-actualization because they never identify what they really, really, really want, right? And it's impossible, you know. And I know of many situations where there's moms out there, maybe moms with husband in the house, or maybe single moms, but they kind of live at survival mode because they take care of everybody else's needs before they take care of their own needs. And if they could, for one day, just put everybody else's needs aside and just take care of themselves, most of them couldn't even identify what their burning desire is, right? And what they truly believe they can accomplish. So these are important. We're just talking about factors that keep people from accomplishing their overall goals. Again, tonight's subject, we're talking about out with the old, in with the new. What do we need to do to nurture a better 2018? And of course, how about finding our passion and burning desire? How about improve our belief system? These are things. These are non-tangible things. You know, people always put, I want to make $100,000 this year. I want to take 2 vacations. I want to finish that project at the house. So some people be like, I want to get my kids out the house. You know what I'm saying? They just perked up on
Say it
that, right?
one more time.
So
If you didn't know now, you know.
So we all have tangible goals, but here's some intangible goals. These are the things that'll bring us toward the tangible. We got to find the fire. We got to improve our belief system. How do you improve your belief system? It's a development process. I got to develop myself. I need greater faith this year. I need the faith that equals being a millionaire. I need the faith that equals accomplishing greatness in my training and development and in our show. We got to find the belief system and the faith to support our goals. We need greater drive. How do you improve drive in a person, in yourself? That's a very difficult one, but there are some techniques to get it done. And if you become a student of improving yourself, you will start to figure out how to get greater drive, right? Increase our focus. We need to think bigger. We need to find more meaning in life. We need to look for more long-term rewards. We need to find good words and have good conversations. We need to not worry about other people agreeing with us.
That's correct.
These are great limits to success. All of these things, if you don't have a belief system, if you don't have a burning desire, if you don't have enough focus, if you don't have enough drive, you could be the best cake baker, the best piano player, you could be the best athlete in the world. But if you don't have the ability to focus, and if you don't have drive, and if you don't have a belief system, and if you don't have a burning desire to do something, and if you don't have faith in yourself, and if you don't have a long-term goal, and if you don't surround yourself with positive people, and if you don't stop worrying about what the haters got to say, you will never achieve your goal.
Preach it.
Right?
He going off.
I'm telling you, bro, I'm passionate about this because there's so much human potential left on the table, because nobody has ever taught us how to build desire within ourselves. Nobody's ever taught us how to focus our minds upon a goal. Nobody's ever taught us what a burning desire does. That's the difference between the good and the great. The great has a burning desire to be the best entertainer, to be the best politician, to be the best songwriter, whatever it happens to be. You got to have fire in your soul.
Say it.
Every person that we know of, think about this in the world, every single person that we know of who quote unquote made it, there's a roughness, a hardness, there's a sternness, there's a passion that's in them that it seemed like over the years nothing or no one could ever take away. They fought through all the haters. They fought through all the liars. They fought through all the thieves. They fought through all the dark times. They fought through all the loneliness. They fought through all the, you know, the self-doubt and all that stuff. They fought through all of it. And look what they achieved. That's why we're able to see those people in lights, because their purpose and their passion and their desire all is so strong, it's so powerful, it brings them into the light for us all to see. You see? So, man, listen, I'm about to go into sermon mode.
What you mean? Go in. You been in.
Have a
sermon.
You been in.
Okay.
You been in. Amen.
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know. Is it red light time?
Hold on. We just can't give them the red light. I refuse. No, I got to boycott red light, because when I tell you this man is giving it to you raw and real, please accept it for how it is. Where you at in your life, we can never say.
Yeah.
But the tools that you're giving is tools that I really want somebody to sit back, because I take personal advice from him.
Yeah.
And the reason why is everybody needs to be able to be open to growth. Never feel bigger than.
Yes.
Be understanding that a person can see you for what you really are if you can open up.
Yes.
Are you willing to open up?
Right.
And if you are confused and you're tired of being hurt, any pain you ever been through, he ain't never asked you to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
He put you through it. You're supposed to grow from it.
There you go.
And you need to entrust, because there's good people that can help you get past anything you've been through.
Absolutely.
And I like to say I have a strong one next to me. My whole cast is strong to develop people in ways that I can't do by myself.
Right.
So quit trying to set goals that does not include self and others.
Absolutely.
Because I like to say we're doing a lot of things selfishly. We see certain people do it all by themselves. And I like to say most of them come back and tell you, in God to the glory. Well, okay, so he's admitting he had a self-driven, but also others as well. Because God doesn't normally work just through one.
Right.
He works through many. So again, let's all start working back together. Because I think we got a little thing that's scaring everybody about trust. And trust is something you really have to bring to the table. And I feel like everybody feel like you gotta earn it. Again, you got to have it.
Right.
And be trustworthy.
Yeah.
So 2018, if you are a liar, and I will admit I did that a long time ago. If you are a liar, then you need to stop. Because who are willing to trust you when you can't be real?
That's it.
And I go to break on that one.
That's
All
right.
day. All day, grandma. All day.
Yeah, we're going in on the subject. Out with the old, in with the
No,
new.
you went in.
Yeah. What we need to nurture for 2018. Let's continue to talk about it. It's a great subject in preparation for this year's New Year. And we dropped the mic on that.
All day.
All day.
Craft man.
Y'all hold on. This is Bar Talk with Jay. We'll be right back.
Again, we got the sounds of smooth craft man.
Man,
Jackie
I
and
killed it tonight, boy. I
Woo.
love them. I love those songs we hit
You
tonight,
with the
man.
music and then the sermon, man. Now you went in deep, man.
Man, I didn't mean to, bro.
Man.
I think this is my passion, man. This is.
No.
I don't think this
you
is
don't
my
think.
passion.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you.
my passion.
Thank
and
you.
this is what I was born to do. You know?
I felt that when I met you.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I've been doing this a lot of years, Jay.
I know you have.
I started back in maybe about 97, 98.
You forget I heard some of your
No.
old stuff.
Yeah, you do
See,
got some of my old
Oh,
stuff, don't you?
yeah. See, when you get in tune with a person, you gotta believe in a person. You gotta go back and relate to a person. And again, when I related to you, had that passion and you did this before. Yes, I want to go back and find out some of the old because I know you now. It's good to know some of the old, for I can correspond with you
Yeah.
in a way that you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
The number one thing
Yeah.
to make somebody open up to anybody is to relate and to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Just like if anybody ever come to the studio, anybody ever came through here, they always say the same thing. We had a great time. We love the vibe. We don't create the vibe. You create it when you come and vibe with us.
Absolutely.
We have a high, impactful, but the one thing is caring.
Yeah.
So if you come with a non-caring attitude, you might say we're not all that because you don't bring any luster.
Right.
We're gonna bring some luster.
Right.
We're gonna try to bring the best out of you.
Yeah.
Can you bring something to the table? Please bring something to the table.
Right. Right.
And we asking that same thing for the new year.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say 2018 should be the best. You know, a lot of people look at 18 gonna be the bomb. Let me tell you something. 17 should have been good too.
Yeah.
Because I didn't wait to do anything in 18. I made some changes that you might not have seen. But the thoughts and the plans was already in the works.
Okay.
So again, we might plan on doing a little bit more in 18. You might see some things different, but it's been planned and also put in work now.
Yeah. Jay, let me ask you this. What do you think? I just want you to name me one thing, something simple, that you're going to work on. You don't have to have an outcome, but you're going to work on it. You're going to better that area of your life or that thing. What is that thing for Jay? And you know, be personal, be interpersonal.
I would be very personal. Mine is continuous of patience.
Okay.
I get impatient. And again, a lot of people say, man, you're the most patient dude. I would tell you all day long. I get impatient from time to time because I want things to happen.
Right.
And I do things to make it happen, and when it don't, I feel the urgency not to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So I push for it, and the push probably takes me off path.
Right.
And it takes me off kilter. So I'm not at my best.
Jay.
And I have to calm it down. And I told you when things was being thrown at me today, I said, slow it down. I have to understand. You can't ask for him to give it to you before you're ready.
Yeah.
Only thing he's asking for is be prepared.
Right.
Prepared mind, right? So you don't ever want to look at yourself as non-prepared because I've been through this, I've been through that. But the bottom line is there's something else coming, and if you're not prepared, you will miss it. And I like to say, I ain't on Pityville ever.
Yeah.
I like to say, I have to look at my shortcomings for they knows where they can stay short.
Patience is a virtue. How they say?
Yeah, they just say it.
Patience is a
It
virtue.
don't seem like it though when you ain't getting your way.
It don't seem
I'm
like
ready to pout like a kid.
But the ways of the Lord will tell you
Oh,
that patience is virtue, right?
He sat me
But
down.
let me tell you one thing that I heard, and this is really something I learned probably more in my spiritual life than anything, that sometimes you just gotta get mad. Sometimes you just gotta say, you know what, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of slowness. I'm tired of people taking their time doing my part of the goal, or doing what needs to get done so I can get my part done. Sometimes you have to get upset. Listen, and all winners, all people who've been there and done that, all the people who are very, very successful, sometimes they might be nice and friendly, but they got a temperament that gets things done, right? That's what great leaders do. They create that environment like, hey, I want this to happen. And then next thing you know, the people under them are just racing around like crazy, trying to make it happen. Diligent, fighting, running against the clock. And so sometimes that's a good, patience is important, but sometimes there's a time to drive through. And I tell you, as I age, I feel like I'm losing my patience more. Sometimes people will be telling me, I'll be at work and this little lady will be telling me this story, and I'm like, okay, lady, I really don't want to hear your story, but I'm trying to sell a car right now. And in the car business, I'm gonna tell you this is how it works. I'm having that 1.5 minute conversation with this sweet little lady in service, and I look out of the corner of my eye and I see this car driving in on the lot. They drive in, they park, they get out of their car. Another salesperson goes and meets them while I'm having this conversation. I look up 2 hours later. They buying a car. And I could have been on that customer. And so a lot of times I don't have the time to be patient and to be loving and sweet. And I say, hey, listen, man, I would love to get to know you, but you see that? I believe there's that's my daughter's tuition right there. I'll be right back.
Now, I'm gonna laugh with you right now,
but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm past know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because in your line of business, I understand you totally. Mine is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But because of what we do here, I have to be approached all the time. And it's like, oh, you talk about relationships. You can talk about this. Now, one thing I don't mind is listening but don't bring me no bull.
Right.
And
And I have no patience for that.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm getting to a point where I don't like to tune nobody out.
Right.
But when you bring me rhetoric and you're not being real to me, it's hard for me to give you a good opinion and get into you and give you any kind of advice.
And you know what, Jake?
When you do
Listen,
that.
think about this, and I think everyone should take this assessment. How many times have you been in conversations where it's going nowhere? It's going absolutely nowhere. But you stand there or you sit there and you wait there and you just listen and you just, want to be
No.
nice and be friendly.
But it's not.
Let's assume that you have spent a ton of hours last year or this year. A ton of hours listening to people who wasn't going nothing. You could have broke that conversation, went and read a book, and made $1 million by now. Right?
Thanks.
and listen,
Let me know. That's why I ain't
that's a great lesson for 2018. That may be something that helps you maintain your focus. Is saying no when people bring you nonsense. Getting away from those conversations. Getting away from those negative vibes, those negative people. That may be one of the things that helps you nurture a greater 2018. Is not paying attention to that stuff. Don't have patience for nonsense. Have patience for righteousness. Have patience for success. But don't have patience for nonsense. Right? And there are a lot of people wasting their life, wasting their potential, wasting their time, wasting their money, wasting their efforts on nonsense. Right? And that could be a relationship, that could be a business venture, somebody you in business with, that could be, any number of things. You know what it is for you folks. And keep this in mind. We're talking directly to the folks, our audience listening out there. We're hoping that you get some value out of this, man, because this is good stuff, right? I'm just going to bring, I think the entire subject of a successful 2018 comes down to how healthy your mind is. Nothing is going to happen until your mind is in order. If you are trying to do great things with a disorganized mind or an unhealthy mind, you are not going to achieve your goal, and all you're going to face are, shortcomings and blaming and faults and troubles and all that good stuff. You have to work on the mind. And, nobody's ever taught us that either. How do you heal your own mind? Right? I'm a big proponent of clean sheet of paper. I'm holding in front of me right now my goals for 2018. I started, this is actually my third version of my clear and cut goals for 2018. And this is something that I'll keep in my pocket all year long. I plan on, making it into a little card and laminating it. I'm going to keep it in my wallet. I'm going to read it every single day, every time I get frustrated or whatever. When I come back to my goals, then whatever's going on in the world refocuses my mind. When it could be a bunch of stress and turmoil and frustration going on, but when I pull this out of my pocket and I start reading it, I'm no longer disorganized. I no longer am worried about where I'm going, and if what I'm doing is adding value to my goals. And here's my goals, and I'm gonna just throw it out there, and I don't want to be judged for any of this, but this is my way of looking at 2018. $250,000 minimum, in pocket, done. I gotta diversify in order to get there. So I gotta diversify my income portfolio in order to get to $250,000 this year. I'm gonna pay 2 visits to my kids who are in Phoenix, Arizona. Right? I need to plan those out. Maybe I capture a spring break. Maybe I do next Thanksgiving, but I need to plan those out. Okay? My father just came down with an illness, so I need to make sure that I plan loving time to be home, probably every other month, if not monthly. And so that's going to be a big commitment for 2018. I need to figure out how I'm going to get my father healed and how much time and effort I need to spend there. I'm moving residence next year. I got about 6 more months in the place that I'm in, so I need to be thinking about where my next residence is going to be. That could determine a job move. That could determine how much time I need to travel to be here at the show. That could determine a whole lot of things. But I need to be thinking about that. I'm going to take a cruise next year, and maybe a couple of them. Just a me cruise. Not going to be anybody but me, no company. Just one of those cruises where I set out a plan that every day I'm going to pray over a certain thing and just let the whole thing be meditative. I want to create a craft consciousness CD in 2018. And I have yet to create a product of products so that I can hand out and sell and continue my own personal vision. So I'm going to create that CD next year. And there's about 20 other things that I have to prioritize that will go on this list. But it's going to be a productive year because I already know what it means. You know, I already got time carved out to spend with family. I already got time carved out to move. I already got time carved out to plan my CD. And so because I've already thought forward in my mind, I've already created tomorrow. Tomorrow is already done by the establishment of my own thoughts. And Napoleon Hill says our thoughts have a tendency to transform themselves into their physical equivalents. That's powerful. That means what you think, you become. Whatever you think about manifests. Here are some mental equivalents, and I'll shut up here in a moment, Jay. But
Man, bro, nobody wants you to ever shut up.
Okay.
Please.
I feel you.
That vibe is too strong.
Yeah, here are some mental equivalents that are going to support my 2018 goals. So I've already decided here's what I want to achieve. Here's A and here's B. But now I got to keep my mind clear and my mind healthy. So when I need mental strength, I'll go to these passages. I'm going to move from glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to glory.
Okay.
There will be no valleys in 2018. There will be no roadblocks. There will be no hindrances. There will be no obstacles. There will be no problems that I can't overcome in 2018. See, the victory is already mine in 2018. I already picture myself on December 31st, 2018, holding up the belt. Already achieved, right? God's going to favor me. God's favor goes before me in 2018. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, but it shall destroy its maker. This year I'm going to think bigger than I have ever thought before. Sometimes that requires like a muscle. You got to work a muscle. I cannot see myself driving a Bentley. You know, right now, I can see myself in a Jaguar, but I ain't never saw myself down there buying my first plane. But I need to be thinking about how I'm going to buy my first hotel, and how I'm going to buy my first plane, and how I'm going to build my first library, and how I'm going to get my first 1,000 kids through college through a tuition that I put together. You see? It's about creating your future in your mind. Your mind is the health of your life. Now I got it all in my mind can go to work on it and make it happen. That's the way life works, man.
And it changes everybody's thoughts of how you really think. Because
Right.
I like the goal setting, and Crab been telling me about the goal setting, and then keep it on you.
Yeah.
So again, I don't want nobody to think we do this show, it's just for show. No, this is how he lives. When I tell you a good dude, I'm understating a good man. I really am.
Thank you.
I pick with him all the time when it comes to Latiki. I got to bring some nastiness out of my bow hat. Because if you really knew Crab, you know this man is a diehard good guy. Not one that ever bring me any shame. He's a guy that I like to say, I may change not because of him, because of the words that he used and the life that he lives. I can't say I want to be Crab. I can only be the best me. Okay.
And you are a good Jew, Jay. That's
And
for sure.
I'm trying to be a better man.
We're all here
because
because of you,
one of the things I can say about me, I didn't do all the goal settings that you have.
But you will.
But I'm starting to put them in place.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you don't do a lot of things because you have small handicaps. Like, I don't always write down everything. All right? But guess what? We got phones now. So I'm starting to learn hey, I can speak it to my phone, it's right there. So put it in the notes. So a lot of times, people don't understand you have handicaps. Don't use a handicap as a handicap. My whole thing is, you have a problem, find a solution.
Right.
So to me, I don't always write it down. But I'm learning now that I still can get it down. And you can use other forms. We have phones now that gives us great abilities to do everything. And you're not using half of
Siri.
the abilities that's in front of you. No, I ain't gonna lie, my Siri ain't a bright Siri.
But listen,
she misspelled.
They got Alexa out right now.
I don't know,
Alexis,
I'm gonna have to get that. Because my Siri, she straight ghetto.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
She ghetto?
Listen, lay her
She
down.
called the wrong person.
Put her to rest.
She even told me the wrong person called me. I said, what that? I mean,
Hey, it's just
and I
time.
paid my bill.
Time to upgrade. Jay. That's
Okay,
all
my
it is.
bad, my bad.
Listen, that ain't about a bill. That's about a software.
That's software?
Yeah, that's
Software.
It didn't get an update.
It did get an update. It did get an update.
No, it got an update. It got a
We
broke
got the update, yeah. I mean, and that's what we talking about. We talking about an update. The Tiki was talking about. She thinks New Year's resolutions are.
Yeah, this
I
past.
don't know, just old. It's no good. But without the New Year's resolution, how do you reprogram yourself for the new year? How do you get rid of the old stuff and start to really get focused on the new stuff unless you reprogram yourself? Right? That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. When you and it's think tank time. And if I could take, the one thing, and I say this a lot, and then we're going to take a break here. If I could take every single, just a portion of every single person in the world, and I could force feed them to write their goals. Those top 10 goals, just write them every day. Write them every day. See, your subconscious mind isn't going to accept it until you say it 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 times. And then all of a sudden your subconscious, by the way, your subconscious is the God that's within you, right? The God within you is going to say, oh, you really want that. And then he's going to start leading you to it and bringing the resources and bringing the right people and perfecting the timing. But when you get to the pearly gates, you're going to be like, well, oh, why you didn't make me a rich man? He said, you didn't ask for it enough, son. You didn't ask for it enough. You didn't think about it enough. You weren't passionate about it enough. You didn't contemplate it enough. I taught you a long time ago that what you think about is what you become. Your thoughts become your reality. What you contemplate all day long becomes your truth. And you never listened to me. I said, be still and know thyself. Know thyself to be whole and complete. Know thyself to be healthy. Know thyself to be successful. Know thyself to be a great father, to be a great mother. Know thyself to be the best, welder in the world. Know thyself to be the best radio host. Know thyself to be true. There's not enough of that going on, but that doesn't happen, folks, until you get to some mental meditation, until you get to stimulate your own mind. Because believe it or not, folks, what we think of as reality is not reality. What is reality is the result of your previous thinking and your previous belief system. And if you don't like where you are, you can change it by changing your mind. It's just that simple.
All right, one more time.
Thank you, Jay.
Man, we
Right.
got to give it to him on this one because,
Right.
again, in 2018, you want to make a change, it's a mental change.
It's mental change. First and
Everybody want
foremost.
to lose weight, you want to do something, get your mind healthy,
There
get
you
your
go.
mind right. Your body, you trying to impress,
Mhm.
okay? Because I got this good. When I started something, I wasn't worried about, and that's what I love about when you mention about a problem.
Right.
When I want to get a solution, and I make the problem smaller, but the one thing I noticed, I stopped looking at the imperfections.
There you go.
I start working on getting things accomplished.
Right.
And a lot of times your mind gets stuck on certain things. You got to get your mind back laser.
Yes. Yes. Man, you do. And I know we got to go to break, but I'm going to tell this real quick example. There's lab studies, and all metaphysics or even all scientists know this. It's very simple. They take 2 pieces of ice, right? And they have one person thinking very negatively over one piece of ice, and they have the other person thinking very positively over the other piece of ice, right? And it seems like the one who thinks negative over their ice, they've done this test thousands of times. The ice that gets the negative energy starts to deform. But the ice that gets the positive energy maintains its perfect size and its perfect shape. What that says is that the perception of the observer manifests that reality. 2 people can be looking at the same situation and be under the same gun, so to speak, but the person who sees it positively somehow escapes. The person who sees it negatively falls by the wayside or is consumed by by the problem or the situation. So positive thinking, folks, that's what we're talking about. Man, I'm on one, and I really want to crush
Yes,
this.
you
I
are.
really want to crush this. And this is my favorite subject in the world, man, because this is where greatness happens. For anybody who hasn't entertained these ideas before, and you got to start reading. This is where human potential reaches its real potential. When you can start managing the power of the mind and the positive thinking, that's where the rubber meets the road.
And I'll tell you what, if you didn't know, because we're going to break, 2018, you will be able to get that CD from Craftmatic.
Yeah.
I got a producer in the building that's going to help me get it produced.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, and I'm going to get him out there again next year because he's still being quiet. He don't want to put himself out there
Yeah,
yet.
been quiet.
But
It's
I'm
time.
going to leave it be
It's time.
because that's what he want. And I respect. See, that's one thing he know.
Yeah.
When he came on, he already know.
Yeah, you've been asking me to do a
Respectfully,
show for 6 months.
Man.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I'm low key.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep him low key. Grammatic said, you throw me on the bus all the time, and I'm going to continue to throw you behind on the bus all the time because we boys. But the one thing you always know, no matter how that bus roll, you going to live because I am not
There
going to
go.
do you wrong.
I know that, Jay.
Come on.
That's why I love you so, bruh.
Man, I love you as well.
Yeah, man.
That's
Listen,
something strong. And we in the ATL, but it's regular love, okay?
hey, listen.
We got to say that,
Men
unfortunately.
who out there that are raising families, and you got sisters and cousins, and y'all know what we talking
We
about.
talking about
I love this
real
brother. You know what I'm saying?
love, because
This
we
brother will
care
support
for
you
one
through
another
thick and thin,
in
yeah.
that capacity, which we want you to get to,
Right.
not the physical.
There you go. Hey, y'all folks, hold on. We're going to close the show out with a bang. Bar Talk with Jay. I'm Craftmatic.
And I'm Smooth J
And
next
we-
to the DJ.
Right? And we'll be right back. In the night.
Man, you
I
know
love the
something?
music selection tonight.
The music selection only let me know about romance and relationship. We got a new year coming up, and a lot of times I was getting opinions and comments on when I know when to let go. The new year, I need to let go of old things. I'm gonna tell you, you need to evaluate all the time. You don't need to wait till the end of the year to know a person is not good for you.
Right.
That kinetic energy and the chemistry that you might have, and you don't see him following his words, there's things that you can follow way before. I don't really believe in this hold on to the end of the year to make those kind of change.
Right.
Those things need to be done by evaluation of a person. And remember, don't judge them by what somebody else did
Right.
and the pains of what you've been through, because that's what we typically do.
Right.
And that's what they was mentioning to Jeffrey about judgment. Most of your judgment is off of what past behavior, past things that happened.
Yes.
We supposed to learn from, not hold to. So you can't hold somebody that somebody else did. You have to let that go and receive it to understand somebody different is around you. Because if I live my life by just my past, I would never be able to accept my future.
That's exactly right, Jay.
I don't ever want y'all to live in a life of misery. It should be in a life of glory.
Yeah.
Okay?
There you go.
Glorious.
Yes.
Make a difference in your life. Because you know something, one thing I mentioned, on your tombstone, there's a beginning date and an end date. And it's that little mark in between.
Mm-hmm.
What do you stand for?
Right.
Make that mark something that means something.
Yeah.
Because a child can be born for 5 minutes and leave us and make an impact in people's lives forever.
Absolutely.
So you got to know how important life is and live it to make a dash meaningful.
Absolutely.
Because on that tombstone, I can't read it.
Right. I like that.
Make it to know it.
What's the meaning of your dash? Right.
Because it's
I
been
like
a long run.
What's the meaning of
But
your
the
dash?
meaning of that dash
Yeah.
is going to be the meaning that's left.
I like that, man. I like that. I want to quickly address one thing you said, letting go of things. That is major, right? What the Lord said, you can't put new wine into old wineskins, right? You got to let go of some things. And letting go of the right things may free you. Letting go of some things may offer you peace that you have never had before, or the peace that you've been longing for. And that doesn't just mean relationships, folks. That can be anything. If you bought a house 6, 8, 10 years ago, and the house is absolutely killing you financially, it may be time to let it go. It's just a piece of property and you can replace it, but you'll never replace it until you create a window of opportunity to do something bigger. And right now, if you're always under the gun, you're going to be under the gun for the next 20, 25 years. Sometimes you got to let it go. Sometimes you got to let go of that old job. You stay there, you've been there 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
Can't stand it.
You can't stand it, you can't stand the people, you don't like the work, they just don't treat you right. It's time to let go, you know? And there's nothing wrong with change. It is not easy. It's not easy to let go of a comfortable situation. If you're in a bad relationship, a bad marriage, it's not easy to say, I gotta let this go. But you know that it may be for your greatest good, you know. The one thing that we have not really talked about tonight is what all of this comes down to, and it really comes down to your relationship with God. It comes down to your relationship with God. No matter what you write on that paper, no matter how many affirmations and visualizations, no matter how much thought power you put behind it, nothing will happen without the help and full support of the Lord. Nothing will happen, in my opinion, unless your goals are aligned with His will for your life. And that means you got some work to do with the Lord. You got to get in the closet. You got to start writing in your journal to the Lord. You got to start praying about these things that you want in your life. And even though these things may not always be the best for you, it may not be, in terms of where the Lord is taking me for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years of my life, He may not want me to make all that money next year, because that money might change me in a certain way. It may put me in a position where I'll miss His blessing, or He may not want it. But if it's in His will, it's already done. But if it's not in His will, I'm not going to be so attached to the goal that I start to feel disappointment, and I start to be anxious, and I start to doubt myself because I don't achieve the goal. See, when you're under the umbrella of His grace, that you don't worry about things and stuff. You just move for advancement. You know the field's got to be tilled. You just go till the field. Even when it's cold, you go and till the field. But you know that the crop and the harvest is coming. You know that the reaping will unfold. But if you don't plant the seeds with the Lord, He can't answer it for you. You know, what if here's a visual for you. What if over your head in the sky there are all these balloons, and each balloon is filled with your blessings, your greatest good, all the things that you can think about that you want in your head. Each one of those are in a balloon over your head. And the only way to get it to come down is for you to go up. The only way that blessing will ever fall upon your life as reality is if you go to God and ask Him for the keys to open that vault, to unleash those blessings from the balloons. That means we got a spiritual work to do, and it has to happen every single day. If you do nothing else, do not miss a day in 2018 of being with the Lord. Because no matter what the goal is, no matter what the trouble you may face, no matter what train wreck is about to happen, He can fix it. He can heal it. He can make it right. And so I don't want to preach, but
Oh, you already did.
Well, that's just a word to the wise. You have something, Barbara? No?
You took all the words out of my mouth, but I'm going to add a little bit to it.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I know everybody has their own religion and everything, but this is for the old and for the new.
Okay.
I need everybody to exercise in order to meditate their mindset, in order for them to validate their own experiences,
Yes.
in order to integrate the challenges that they're going to face in life,
Yes.
and accept it as a whole, with the Lord in your heart. And that's all I want to say.
Yes.
And I'm going to go one more.
Go ahead.
And there's nothing more that, you dropped the mic, even what Barbara said. Totally agree with it.
Yeah.
Love it. But when I told you earlier, and this is to bring you a real round table, and I didn't even know it's going to be this way, but this is to let you know it's spiritual.
Yeah.
I didn't call you because I talked to Pastor Kate.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Okay.
And when I was talking to Pastor Cater, we was talking about religion in a whole lot of different ways.
Right.
And he was asking me about Bar Talk and all the different things that we do. So he might want to hear, because y'all answered a lot of things that we talked about that I don't have to repeat. Because one thing that me and him both talked about
Yeah.
is when God works, a lot of time it's just confirmation. And what we doing is giving people confirmation because he works through people.
Yes.
So are you willing to listen?
Are you willing to listen?
And I promise you, y'all spoke words. If only you open up and believe and listen. I can't say nothing more.
Yeah.
But I love y'all. New year coming, old year passing. And one thing I want you to do is renew your mind, your thoughts,
Yes.
and remember to believe in yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Folks, I just want to thank you all for being with us tonight. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and all we like to do is just inspire people. We say inspire humanity to be its greatest possibility. And, we talked about a lot of really powerful ideas. Listen to the show again and again. Share it with your friends. We're on Spreaker, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, bartalkwithjay.com, iTunes. iTunes, that's major. That's major. We getting close to the money, fellas. We getting close to the money.
Hey, YouTube, you name it. Instagram, Twitter, anything you can think about, you can get it. And then if you can't find nothing else, bartalkwithjay.com.
.com. There it is.
I got it all there for you. You can even see Hype Magazine on the backside. And if you want to get in on that,
Yeah, you got
all we can do is right here.
Yeah.
We make it what? Easy for you.
There you go. And we love you all so much. We do this for you. We hope that this is a blessing to you and to your family, to your spouse. If you're sharing it with somebody who it may be able to help. This is just our opportunity to be leaders in our own community, and we just greatly thank you for being with us. And let's have a fantastic 2018.
Come on now.
Y'all be safe out there for the new year. I would encourage you, if you're in the Georgia area, to stay home because it's going to be snowy.
Yes,
But,
everybody go out there, please. But the beach drop is going to be cold. Be safe.
Yeah.
Take some indoor. I always want everybody to be safe. Number one thing, safe and awareness.
Yeah, and if you do nothing else, keep watching Bar Talk with Jay.
All day long.
Here's the 2018.
I toasted out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.